Hey, happy KOTG Tuesday.
Hey-o.
What's up,
What is
guys?
happening? Oh, man, not much, apparently. Not
Party
much.
time, man. Well, there'd be a lot of stuff going on if you lived up around Buffalo, New York, man.
Sounds like
Talk
it. Yeah,
about
man,
it.
getting hit. Oh, man.
That's crazy. Crazy,
Oof.
crazy. But how's the live chat looking? Who's in there? I can't see him. I'm on my phone again.
Oh, man, it's popping off.
Who do you think was number one?
LTZ.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, see? Yes, man.
He's on quicker than I am, and I'm on the show.
Yeah,
right. I mean, I don't know how he does. He's got like zero ping or something. He just refresh, and boom, he's on.
He's like one of the ones that actually got some Taylor Swift tickets this time around. So he's quick.
Oh, hey.
No, I don't know.
he's bought them all and scalping them. That's why, because he got them before everybody.
There it is. Yeah. No, yeah, we got Grass Geek, Natty Lawn, Steel Cut, the Prez here, Joe, Papa Mo's.
So shout out to Natty Lawn. I just checked my DMs and Instagram, and he sent me a picture. He got his fossil today from Pro Pete, nice. Within the last couple of days. So all the other winners from the last month or so should have gotten their winnings as well. So show it off, guys. Even if you're not putting it down.
That's awesome. Stored up for next spring, ready to go first thing.
Yeah.
Good way to start the season.
Speaking of getting caught up, Brent's been doing an awesome job for you guys over there on the podcast. So go over their podcast, check it out. Keep Off the Grass livecast. There's a lot. What he's done like probably six episodes you guys can catch up on and listen to. Especially if you don't want to listen to family on Thanksgiving, just pop an earbud in.
Take advantage of the long weekend, get away from the kids, throw on some KOTG.
That's right.
Yeah, and if you listen on the podcast, you should consider joining the YouTube live chat because, we've noticed the past week that we've had a lot more listens and downloads on our podcast platforms than YouTube. So some people are missing out on the YouTube live chat. So
yeah, you can interact with us and tell us things to do and do crazy stuff and join with everybody else is doing crazy stuff.
Look at our goofy faces and get the expressions behind the voices. Yeah.
But before we get too far into it, I know some of you guys grabbed your stuff, but let's grab a glass and keep off the grass.
It's water for me tonight, boys. Been busy at work.
Bush. Zach, what do you got?
I got some wine.
Fancy.
Wine.
You put it in, do you smell it and swirl it and all that stuff?
Not my wine, but maybe something else. No, it's all I had on deck. And long day, needed a drink, and that's all we had.
Awesome.
Yeah, these short are tough. If you're working in retail or I work in pharmacy, so we're getting everything done in shorter days. So it's nice to have the weekend, but you kind of pay for it beforehand, and then you get to relax for a few days. So I'm counting down to 5:00 tomorrow. I'll get the hell out of there.
That's when it gets dark. It's 5:00.
Dude, it's terrible, you guys. It's so depressing.
Yeah.
Did someone say that daylight savings time is no longer they put a log into it or something, and this is where we're staying? Did you guys hear that?
I need to look that up because I thought so.
It's in the Senate, I think. I'm not 100% positive. I know it's been going through approvals, but last update I think I read was yes, they want to do it, but they're not sure if they're going to leave it like which one they're going to leave it on,
Right.
And so I think that's the last update I saw.
Yeah, and I think they said too that even if they did pass it, it wouldn't start right away. It would take a year or so or something, maybe 2024 or something. But hey, I'm down. I'm sick of it. But do it where we have more daylight in the afternoon, man. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't care what you guys want. That's what I want.
Yeah, to your point though. It's I think sunset now is 4:53.
Yeah,
and it's it's ridiculous. It is. It's depressing.
Yeah, that was the nice thing about living in Arizona. We didn't observe daylight savings time, so it just stayed the same all year round. It's kind of crazy.
Nice.
Indiana, I think, does it too, or maybe they
I
changed.
think there's a few states at least that they just don't participate, which that's awesome. Right on.
So back to Buffalo, New York. Is Lake Effect Lawn in the chat at all, or anybody else up and around that area? I only see his stuff posting.
He got
6
pounded.
feet, 7 feet of snow.
Who was it? Where at?
Lake Effect Lawn.
Lake Effect, yeah.
Buffalo.
Up in Buffalo, New York. They got like 6 or 7 feet of snow this last week.
Yeah, they had to move the football game. They moved the football game to Detroit because they were going to get that much snow in Buffalo, so they moved it ahead of time. I was seeing like videos of like neighbors, because there's a guy that I follow that played football at UNI. He's a lineman for the Buffalo Bills, and they're actually showing like neighbors over like multiple snowblowers, like trying to get his truck freed up so he could get to the airport so he could get to the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was pretty cool.
Well, I saw a news report. Some guy was up on his roof with an electric snowblower going down the slant, trying to shoot snow off his roof. Right? Feels like, I got electric.
Write that down.
Content.
Right.
In danger.
I see some
Black Friday deals. Black Friday coming up. Where's the deals at? What's going on?
I see a lot of from Lansy.
40% off Lansy.
40% off. Simple Lawn Solutions.
Swordman. What's that? What's the deal with that? With the mower?
So they don't have Swordman anymore.
I saw them post something about it though.
Yeah, it says for whatever stock they have left. So I'm guessing they may have, I don't know, let's just say 10 mowers left. So it must be off of that. I saw Simple Lawns got 20% off.
Yep.
And then I saw, I'm trying to think what else. I saw Turf Titan, I think, has 25% off. I believe they got that.
Yeah.
I was looking on the Andersons today. I didn't see anything on their website, but I think it was around this time that I bought my prodiamine last year. So I'll keep looking, but I don't know. I didn't see anything on their Instagram page yet. I didn't look super hard,
it's good timing right now. If your wife's are like, what do I get you? Well, hey, head on over for Christmas, get it early.
I mean, you're basically saving money by getting it now. Yeah.
I don't know did you guys see if Forefathers has any of the polos on sale or anything? I don't remember.
No, but I haven't seen any codes or anything for discounts out of that.
Yeah, I didn't know. But
yeah, I mean, those are kind of the big ones that I've seen, which you just mentioned. So Lansy, Simple Lawn Solutions, Turf Titan, and is that it?
AMS has got their soul probes 25% off.
AMS, okay.
Okay.
Papa says we need a Black Friday deals at the grocery store. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Right.
God, everything's expensive now, man. You go to McDonald's and it's like $12 to get a combo meal these days. It's like ridiculous. What's the deal? Just want a freaking breakfast, whatever. I don't know. I was gonna say breakfast jack, but I was like, that's not McDonald's.
Yeah, I went to a
Egg
Five
McMuffin.
Guys.
There
I don't know if you guys have heard of Five Guys, and it was like $15 for lunch, man.
That burger is worth $15.
It's a good burger.
Well, it was worth $11 or so. Now it's jumped up. So
you
I like it better with 11. Well,
that's about all I can take. Is
here,
Five Guys.
So
more than that's too much.
Five Guys on
guys,
right now.
we had to pay for it.
$15 for Five Guys, damn.
Yeah.
No, that's not a bad deal.
I don't
It's
feel
Black
like a
Friday
deal
deals,
at all.
man. It's Black Friday.
The black hole deals.
Olee would put him to work in the yard, man.
Glory hole.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah, I need some help. I need to
all our
spread
guests
some
we have
mulch.
lined up are just canceling right now.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they're laughing.
Speaking of guests, like I don't want to give anything out, cat out of the bag, but I will say that, Zach and Olee they've come in clutch with reaching out to folks, and we got some pretty cool stuff we're working on getting lined up here over the next, couple of weeks, couple of months. So I'm pretty pumped to see, who can get on and I don't know. It's going to be pretty cool. We got some cool folks coming on.
We can't tell them it's a lot of new people. So what you heard last winter, there's going to be a whole group of people that you haven't heard from, and we're going to mingle in some regulars, I guess you could say, come back and talk to us and stuff. But so far, it's 80-90% new people. So, which is awesome.
We're working on getting some equipment too.
What episode is this?
95.
94, 95.
95. So next week, we're taking next week off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then should we tell them what's going on the week after that?
Do it.
So
then
the week after that, we're gonna start a little guest streak. We had a lot of fun last year talking with. I can't even. It's too many to name. But, so we're coming in after our break with kind of for the landscape pros, but it's also gonna be cool for us DIYers to kind of learn about it. But it's Dawson Manufacturing, but they make Mulchmate, Cartmate, Snowmate. They make all kinds of different products and equipment. It'll be really cool to talk to them. Look them up on Instagram. But yeah, the CEO and owner, he's coming on to talk to us, and yeah, it'll be cool.
That's the first week in December. So that will be episode 96. Yep.
We're talking about snow removal too. I know they have an attachment of a snow blade that goes on your tractor. I think it's like universal. I think it fits most tractors, and yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah,
it'd be something different that we haven't done before.
Yeah, they're pretty cool stuff. Yeah, Olee, so 100th episode comes up on January 10th, so we're still pushing for that, getting a lot of cool stuff to give away for you guys out there in the live chat. So, get excited for that one, because we definitely are.
Mark your calendars.
Yep. Mark it.
Think about it's gonna be 110 will be the 100th episode.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
We got to figure out how we're going to give all this stuff away too. That's like the logistics of what we got to do, because we did our 1,000.
We're gonna have to start.
Oh man! Oh yeah.
We may have to start. We may have to start an hour early. Actually,
we gotta plan this out, man.
Yeah,
got to get like 5 wheels up, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to do, if we're gonna spread them out throughout the show, it's gonna be like one giveaway every 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. Get the names in right away, because we're gonna start right away if we're gonna get through it all. No, it's good. It's really cool. I'm pretty excited. It's different stuff too. I mean, some of the same kind of stuff we did last year, but some same folks, but some new stuff too. So it's gonna be pretty sweet.
We need something with like the KOTG story, where a certain prize that night they have to enter through the story.
Okay.
I like that.
Just to get some interaction, to get some.
We could put that out beforehand. Yeah, there you go. Get the folks excited, bring them in.
And that keeps some of the OG people on it, rather than just random new people jumping in too.
That's true.
So people actually follow us,
because that's going to be a big pot.
Yeah.
I mean, there might even be some equipment we're going to give away. I don't know, you guys. This is
whoa.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, today though, we're talking about snow removal, right? So let's get on to that, because shoot, the snow's coming. Some of us already got a little of the white powder, but
some of us already came.
I know. Yeah. I mean, we got a light dusting that was pretty much gone, unless your yard was in the shade. But I'm looking forward to a little bit of snow here or there. Any of you guys have any snow yet, or you guys still nothing sticking much for you?
Well, we had pretty good snow beginning of the month, I would say. Nothing that really stuck so much on the valley here on the ground. Pretty much all of our ski resorts opened up early. They've all been open the last week or so. Some of the mountain areas, getting 30 feet of snow, during one storm, and obviously feet and feet before that. So enough that they can open up. But yeah,
Ryan, do they make their own snow, like to add on top of it, or is it all natural?
Most of them kind of started off and use a lot of, man-made snow, but this year, like I said, they've gotten so much that they didn't have to do it as previous years, but but throughout the rest of the season, they'll mostly rely on natural snow.
Do you ski?
I snowboard, or I used to snowboard. I haven't snowboarded in a long time. So I grew up about 30 minutes south of Colorado in New Mexico. And that's where a ski resort was. We'd go up, and, it took like 45 minutes to get there, Rocky Mountains. And they've even opened up early. Usually they didn't open up until like after Thanksgiving was their big day, but they've gotten so much snow over there in southern Colorado as well that they've already opened up for the year as well. So it's pretty cool. We're getting a lot of snow around here.
That's cool.
Yeah. But no, I snowboarded all through high school. I actually still have my snowboard. I've gone, I don't know, it's been probably 15 years now or so. Last time I went, I would probably break it,
get out there
or something.
I want to see you get out there.
Yeah. One of my sons, he actually picked it up. He's like 21 now, and he has been doing it the last couple of years. So he went up to Park City, Utah, which is beautiful. That's where a lot of the resorts are too. So he was up in Park City over the weekend, snowboarding and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. We had in Western Washington, there's like a mountain range that separates the state. And I had a bunch of friends that would go snowboarding after school on like Fridays or whatever. There's like a bus that would pick you up and take you. It was at Fridays or Saturdays. And I was always envious because, like, that's like, you got to buy a board and the gear and all this kind of stuff. And we were more into like summertime water skiing and wakeboarding and never got into the snowboarding, but it looks like it'd be a lot of fun doing that. So that's pretty sweet that he gets to do that out there.
Back when I started doing it, it was the big rival between the snowboarders and the skiers, and the skiers felt like they owned, their runs, and then snowboarders were just kind of thrashing up their runs and stuff. It's just fun. It's all good fun.
Was this gang related?
It pretty much was, man. You got the skier gang and the snowboard gang.
Like the Bloods and the
Y'all had some signs or anything?
Yeah, people falling out to your cars. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's pretty funny.
So what do you use for snow removal, Brian? What are you working with?
I personally just because the last couple of years has not been that deep, if we got snow, it would maybe be a couple inches, right? And so, so I have it's actually called a snow plow, but it's a shovel. I got it at Costco, and it is really nice. Plow.
So is it like?
Is that what your wife calls it?
Right. Yeah.
Does it plow
big
like
yellow stick,
wet and sticky stuff? Like wet and thick, like it will go right through it. It won't, or is it just like fluffy?
Just goes right through that stuff, man. No problem.
Really?
Is it one that's like it's really curved?
Yeah, and it's a very hard plastic. I don't even know what kind of plastic it is, but it's not metal, but it's got a nice little edge on it. But yeah, it's pretty curved up, and you can just go down. I just go down the driveway and the sidewalk and clear the snow. And
does it have
too?
Does it have wheels, or is it just an actual
It's just an actual shovel, just a big girthy shovel that plows right through everything.
Nice.
Yeah, no, but I've had it since I moved here, and it's been awesome. And I'll just go down everybody's sidewalk, really like neighbors. I'm not one of those guys that just kind of stops. Yeah, I'm the neighbor.
I don't mind. If he ain't blowing out everybody's sprinkler system, he's everybody's sidewalk.
Out there plowing them.
Yeah, plowing the neighbors, man.
The whole neighborhood.
It's kind of all about planning. Like when you're gonna get ready to if you got a couple inches in the forecast, it's all about planning to me. Like obviously sometimes I'm at work and sometimes I'll be like, hey, I drive a little bit of ways away and I'll be like, hey, I got to get out of here because I got to go get my drive. Because a few times I've came home and I couldn't get in my drive. And like I had my wife out there with the snow blower. She was trying to get it for me. So especially being kind of in the country. But I was gonna say is like, yeah, it's all about planning to me. Like if knowing the forecast when we might get it and then getting out there early as possible is my strategy.
And I do that because my driveway is north facing. I don't know if you guys have north, like if you guys have issues, but here in Utah, if you're a north facing driveway house, your driveway doesn't get much sun on it. So if you don't get out and keep it shoveled, it's going to just ice up. And as soon as somebody pulls up on the driveway and smashes it down, it's there for the year, well, not year, but the rest of the season.
Sure. Yeah, we have similar issues. I don't know if it's that severe, but yeah, you'll see the folks who like their snow never goes away because then the sun never hits it. And yeah, they definitely have to get the driveways good. But yeah, if you're south facing, it'll melt, which is nice.
All right. So 2 questions and topics. First one, does anyone do any, Zach, you were talking about like preparing and all that. Does anyone do anything prior to like snowfall coming? Like, do you go out and throw salt down? Do you spray anything on it to like help melt off or anything like that? Second question, are you one of those people that, like you were talking about, Zach, you're like, you come home and it's already started snowing. Do you park in the street and then that way you start shoveling so you don't put the tire marks in? Or do you go ahead and just pull in the garage and shovel everything, and you got the strip of your tires there that's a pain in the ass to, like, you have to scrape it. So which one do you do?
I actually was a park on the street and then run in and get my shovel and hit the driveway and then pull in. Absolutely. Because the first year I didn't. So this last year I did, because the first year it was just, like I said, you just compact it down and it's just there for the rest of the season. So like if I knew my wife was going to leave or a kid was going to drive off or I was, coming home, I would not drive on the driveway until I shoveled it off first.
Man, I don't have heated driveways.
What?
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, no, I've seen
that
those.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
But there's also another one too, Nate. So you can park on the street, shovel first, or just drive through. Or some people like are packers and they just drive up and down their driveway.
Yeah,
I know a few people like that. Like for real, like that's their method of getting. They just keep driving on it, which it does just pack it down. Like it's probably
it never melts the whole year.
Yeah.
So I had years and years ago when a couple houses ago, my driveway was kind of downhill and I had a big diesel truck, and it was like the driveway could fit like 6 cars in it, and I hated shoveling it. So literally I would shovel my wife's side, and by that time I was so sick of shoveling, and I would just drive back and forth because it was a big 3/4 ton diesel truck, and I didn't care. It was lifted and everything. And it, like, I wasn't getting stuck. So yeah, I would literally shovel her half and just leave my half and just pack it down and drive over it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, usually we don't get a ton of snow, like not enough to where it's a huge concern. So I usually, depending on when the snow comes, if it's overnight, the car's in the garage and I'll hit it before I leave. But sometimes it starts where you're at work, and I'm just gonna go in the garage and then do what I do. But we don't get enough to where I don't think it's gonna make ice or stay there all season long. So I'm not too worried about that part. The big thing is definitely getting the snow off as best you can once it's all kind of down there, and then throwing some salt down is what I usually do, because our 2 previous places had pretty steep driveway hills. So if you don't get it good, it'll definitely turn to ice, and then you can't get your car up and down, or back up the driveway. Sometimes, there was a year where I had to park on the street because I couldn't make it up until the next day when the sun had hit it, and I was like, all right, and it's balls cold when you get up for work the next morning because it's outside, and it's like, this sucks. But yeah, I do the salt. I haven't done any of that liquid stuff yet, but I forget which one it is, but it's whatever the salt is, where I think it's got the lower melting point, so it doesn't like freeze and melt and refreeze it. It's safer for your concrete than whatever the other salt product is. I can't remember which is which.
So that all depends on how much salt content, because the more salt, the colder it can get. Like ice water, like salt water does not freeze at 32 degrees.
Right.
And it depends on how much salt. So I'm just making this up. Let's say it's 10% salt. that might freeze at like 28 degrees. And let's say it's like 20% salt, that may not freeze until like 20 degrees. So I've actually heard of people like making like salt ice cubes for coolers because technically they're colder than 32 degrees. So you can use salt ice. Yeah. Salt water.
Like when you make homemade ice cream or something.
Yeah.
So like, when I was in the meat industry, we would make brine and stuff like that.
What industry?
And the meat industry.
Oh, okay.
So, we would make the pickle solution, and there's a lot of salt in there, but we would have, you'd be injecting solution into meat at like 24 degrees and it's not frozen.
Meat, pickles injection.
Yep. But you got a whole bunch of, the salt
I know what
content.
you're saying,
Yeah. So like, but to your point, the salt water will not freeze depending on the temperatures and everything, but the more salt you make, the heavier salt concentrate, the colder technically it can go. So if it's 30 degrees out and you just have a little bit of salt, it could probably still freeze. But if you have 10 degrees and you have a higher salt content, then you could do it and it wouldn't freeze. But you can make your own. You can make your own salt water and spray it down on the driveway.
Yeah, and there's different salts themselves where some of them do melt at they freeze at warmer temperatures relative to some of the other ones. So I guess it also makes a difference on how cold you get in the wintertime, whether it's a factor for you or not. The other places get colder than we do here in Missouri, but we get down to the single digits, and usually that's about as low as we get. But other places may need something different because they get even colder.
Yeah.
Kind of like if it's plant available or not salt.
There you go.
For your driveway.
Yeah. See, and when I first moved in, so we just moved into a new community, we were told not to use like ice melt stuff because the concrete was still new.
It'll eat it.
It'll eat away at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were told like, you had to wait a couple of years or something like that before you could start using those kind of products and stuff. So, I've not used any of those, but it would be nice now.
I would say just don't use the pellets, like because those are they're going to sit longer, and so they can tend to like sit on the concrete. Because what they'll do is they'll melt the ice right there, and then once the ice around it is melted, the rest of that pellet is salt, and it's just going to sit on the concrete.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you use more like the flakes, or like a finer flake and spread it more, that's a better method. That typically won't like pit your driveway as bad.
Gotcha.
What do you mean the pellets? What else is different? What's the
granular kind of? Yeah,
you can
like greens grade versus fairway grade.
Yeah, you can literally use like water softener salt, like pellets and shit. Like when I used to work in retail, and when we would run out of actual ice melt, people would come in and buy all like the water softener salts and use that in the wintertime. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you have the choice of like, you can literally just take your table salt, go out there and throw it on your driveway. It'll start cracking it and it'll work. Just regular table salt.
Like the Freedom Fert sized SGN stuff compared to fairway green or greens grade propete. So you saw some of the big rocks.
Man, I got a picture I need to share.
Yeah, and like the liquid is interesting too. I've kind of been curious to try something like that. Spray it out. I'm curious of how cold it can handle. There's a temperature range.
Most of them are going to have a rating on there, but like I said, and they can be mixed with other stuff too. I mean, you can get into what the hell's the I can't think of what it's called.
What other liquids, like de-icing stuff?
I'm trying to think what it is. I can't think of what it's called, but it's like it's used in like refrigerant and stuff like that. Glycol. I think you can use like glycol and stuff like that. I don't know if any of the products have that in it, but I know that will not that has a very it's got a different freezing point too. So I could I could possibly see like stuff being mixed or laced, with glycol as well to help.
It's not neon green, is it?
They add that color.
Oh, okay. I'll be like, hey, you have like a neon
Throw
green
some
driveway.
antifreeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glycol is technically clear, but they add the color so you can see it.
Cool.
So, but,
That
Interesting.
makes sense. Yeah.
but yeah.
So Nate and Zach, what do you guys have for snow removal? What kind of equipment?
Go ahead.
I have, so for the first 2 years in my home, I just used a shovel. And like I said, that's where like it's kind of relaxing to me. It's one thing I can get out and do, get away, have a beer. And so and I have a pretty big driveway, like I have like a little parking spot off to the side. It's pretty long and wide. But I used a shovel for the first 2 years and it was okay. But I mean, I did get a few times where I got in some bad situations. But then I have it's a yard machine gas powered snow blower. And then last year I got a 40-volt cordless snow blower from Lythly. And that's the only thing I used all year last year. I didn't use my gas one. I didn't even shovel. I actually left my shovels in my back shed. I just never went and got them. And I was surprised it got me through the whole season. I had like 2 storms where like my battery would die and then I have to charge it, wait like an hour or two, and I'd go back out to finish the job. But
you can actually just say, I had to go inside and warm up a little bit. You can just be, no, the batteries are fine. I just had to go warm up a little bit.
So, but I mean, no, like all year, I mean, most snowstorms I got through my whole drive, which is one charge, good. Next day, I could go back. But like there was like 2 or 3 where I just had to like recharge it, go back out. But like I said, I just keep up on it, stay up all night. But that's what I use. I really liked it. I was very surprised with the battery powered. It's the only battery powered one I've used, so I can't really compare it to anything. But it, it was. I mean, it shot snow good 25 feet.
Wow.
So Zach, you'd made the comment like, there's different approaches. So let's say it's going to snow like 8 inches. Are you the type that if it starts at 10 p.m.
Is that your tape measure or an actual measurement?
We'll see this winter. But
It's roughly 8 inches.
So like I just need to be prepared if we're getting a true 8 inches or a Nate 8 inches.
A Nate 8 inches.
8 inches. Okay. So if like, are you the type that's like, you're going to go out there at like 10 o'clock and you're going to, when it's only got an inch or 2 and you're going to snow blow it. And then you may even like set your alarm for like 2:30 in the morning. You get up and you do like the next 2 inches, then you get up at like 5 a.m. and then you finish it off. Or are you the type that like, it's going to snow 10 inches. And so you're like, screw it, set your alarm for 4 a.m. and you just like get up and like before you go to work, you're just like doing it all and then get ready for work and go to work.
If I know it's going to snow heavy, I'll stay up till I know I have it at a decent point. Like I might stay up till like 1, 2 a.m. just because, I mean, if I had like a badass like Aaron's or Toro that just like flies it, I would probably just let it all snow and then just go through it. Like if I had like a real big snowblower. But since I only have like my yard machine is a really small, single stage snowblower. It works well, but I mean, if it's, a good, I mean, if it's a foot, it's going to be tough getting out of that. So,
yeah. Tell you the best thing you could possibly do is have a good neighbor.
mm-hmm.
That's the best. That's the best. Yeah. Like Brian, but no, like, so I mean, like when we first moved in, one neighbors across the street, he's got a 4-wheeler with a blade on the front. So then he like, there was one snowstorm or whatever, and we were out there and he comes over, and I think half of it, they just want to play on their toys, And so he's coming over and he's helping us do the driveway. And then my other neighbor across the street, he's got a side-by-side and he's got a blade on his. So he'll do his and then he'll see us out there and he'll come over and kind of help us. And then my neighbor a couple down, he's got a real nice, I think it's Aaron's big,
Those
big
things
old,
are crazy.
big orange. Yeah. And that, I mean, we had last year, I think it was up to my knees, and that thing just chewed through it. And he was like, yeah, he's like, go grab it, and you can use mine and all that. But there's been times, I mean, great neighbors, but I mean, there have been times where like literally I wake up and I go out there at 5:30 and he's like, his driveway's done and he's like already in my driveway, like doing my driveway for me, like helping me and stuff like that. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's a good
neighbor
neighbor right there.
Really cool.
And then, to that point though, like you got to return the favor. Like,
oh yeah.
So like, if you can't like, you can't see, go ahead and just, finish it up or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're out there, but then a lot of times, like you go help another neighbor, so
sure,
it may have taken you 2 hours to do it, but with the help, it was only 30 minutes. So then you kind of go help someone else for another hour or whatever. And I think that's just, the way to do it. And that's, kind of Midwestern thing, but I see that a lot. Like even my sidewalks, where my sidewalk ends, I'll keep going another, 50 feet or 100 feet into my neighbor's sidewalk if he hasn't got his yet. Or, there's times where he'll be doing his and he'll come all the way up to my driveway and just kind of do it. So it's a nice thing to do,
Yeah, my neighbor across the street, the farmer, he has his big, John Deere that he pulls, his plows and stuff with, and he has this huge blade. I mean, like as long as this side of my house, like it's huge, and like he'll come and do, like if we get a really really bad, he'll be over and he'll get it. So which is
drop
nice.
it, pull it out one pass, basically.
Pretty much one pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
my brother-in-law's got a tractor. He's got a blade on it and stuff, and that's definitely the way to go. But what I mean, like if you don't have the like storage or the garage or all that stuff, it's tough to have all that equipment, because I hate to say, but like like a snowblower, you may only use it like 3-4 times. And other than that, you're just getting a couple inches to use the shovel. But really that heavy snow, like to me, it's like, man, I can't justify the space in my garage for something I'm going to use maybe 5 times a year max.
Yeah,
and it's great when you need it, but I don't know.
And that's what I thought too, because some of the neighbors have, they neighborhood Facebook page, they're like, hey, I'm getting rid of my snowblower. It's like $20, and it's like, should I get one? But it's it's that space that always comes back to me. Like, no, I don't want to take up space for 3 or 4 times a year.
Well, I think a battery one, it would be, so even if there's like an inch or two, like I was using my battery power just zip through it, and that saved me a ton of time in the morning before work. I wasn't getting all sweaty. I was just walking, pushing that thing, because I remember waking up and like being drenched in sweat after shoveling and have to get in the shower again and then go to work and like getting up early. So like last year though, I seriously didn't even use a shovel. Like even if it was like an inch, I just used my little thing and it folds up. I'm sure all of them fold up. You could store it somewhere pretty easy if.
Yeah, I'll say so. Talking about one piece of equipment, I have several different things. So I have a shovel, just your regular shovel. I definitely recommend the handles that have they look like more like a Z, like the ergonomic handles versus like a straight handle. I think those are much better, like for your back and everything. So your hands, are like this. But so if you're going to shovel, I recommend that. But so last year it's called Snowcaster. Zach, I don't know if you can pull them up or anything, but literally what it is it's got like a 3-foot wide blade. And the blade's at an angle, and there's wheels on the back of it, and it comes like with a handle, and you push it. It's basically like a plow, but
like a dolly, right?
Yeah, it's like a dolly, but a plow, and you push it. And I mean, and with it being 3 foot wide, I mean, dude, I can clear my driveway like when it's just a couple inches, like 20 minutes, and normally it's like an hour plus. And I can just fly with that thing. It's pretty sweet because it can go both ways depending on how you want the angle of the blade. So you can go back and forth and clear the snow. The only time you laugh is when we talk about going both ways.
I think
Olee, you own a shovel? You own a shovel?
If you said you were going both ways up the hill, I would have really laughed.
I said the shovel can go both ways.
Olee, do you own a shovel? For a snow shovel?
Huh?
You own a snow shovel?
Yeah, I got a shovel, yeah. Not a snow shovel, but I got a
That's
shovel.
what I'm saying, a snow shovel.
No,
he just waits until noon and it's melted.
Yeah, the way it works around here, if it snows, you just give it a day, and the next day it'll be 90 degrees and it'll be a mud hole. But what I will say is, if we do get snow, I take the skid steer and clean off the driveway and in front of the road or in front of the house. And the reason for it is that way people with these 4-wheelers don't get all in the yard acting stupid.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be irritating for sure.
Yeah, because they get out there and get to cutting donuts and stuff and
messing everything up.
Yeah. So what I have, Zach, is
they can ride all they want at their house.
One of those top 2 is what I got. I don't know which one I have, but I think I have the middle one.
It looks pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, you're not actually shoveling, so your arms don't get all exhausted. You're just kind of using your leverage to push it away. Yeah,
and
I've had questions about that because
it's not vertical like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's
the handle goes down. Nope, the handle goes down.
I was envisioning you had, Brian, when you were talking, Brian. This is what I was thinking you had. Yeah, so like that's what I was wondering. Like if you're pushing it, if you hit some thick, wet stuff, you're gonna be able to push through it, or what?
The blade looks like that, but no, it's just a regular straight handle.
So like the blade is angled, so it's not, it doesn't sit flush. So when you're pushing, it doesn't just like, it's so that way it kind of, it'll, fall off the side. And so, but yeah, if you get over like 5 inches and it's a heavy snow, that it's tough to use. But like for something that's maybe like 3 inches, and it's actually amazing. Like I love using it.
So that one says it's 36 inches wide, so that might be the one you have.
But the only negative thing is it's not like a shovel. So like when you get to the end of your driveway, you can't like pick it up and like scoop it off the driveway. You have to kind of give it like a shove.
Yeah,
is what it is. But that's the only thing I don't like about it. But I mean, it's like it's awesome. You can just you just push it off the end of the yard, flip it around, go back the other way, push, and you just go back and forth.
Now someone needs to design it where there's some kind of like a gear shaft or something in between the wheels, and you could power walk it like your mower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like an automated.
So it's not necessarily gas or electric, but
but yeah, I really like using that thing, and it's like I said, it's pretty slick.
So what I can see happening with that is, if your driveway is uneven, which mine is, and you'd be hitting, cracks and stuff, and be like, clip, clip, and be stopping, you'd be jamming everything. Like that seems stressful to me.
Yeah, I would definitely say for a nice flat concrete driveway. If you had a gravel driveway or anything like that, no, it definitely wouldn't be for anything like that.
I have this one spot on my driveway that there's just a little bump on there they didn't smooth it out. So every time I go down it, I hit it every time. It just like makes the handle going right in my stomach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this kind of like what you got, Brian, or no?
Yeah, it's similar to that. It's probably not. Mine's probably like 2 feet wide. That one looks like it's bigger than mine.
Yeah, see, those are cool because if it's not a deep,
just be honest about it.
Yeah, that's right.
You could get
cold that day. It was cold that day.
Yeah, that's about colder. That's mine when it's colder. Yeah. Yeah, Bill, so something like that.
Bill, you got one of the power shovels. What's your take on the power shovels? Because I think that, in my opinion, that is kind of what's taken over. We talked about the space in the garage and stuff like that. And I think this is a fair trade to relieve that. Obviously, with the battery powers and stuff like that, you don't have the gas, you don't have all that. So to me, this is kind of the new and upcoming thing that a lot of people that don't have a huge driveway that still don't want to shovel. This is a trade-off. I know you have one. I have one. I have the corded one, so it's just a little bit different. I mean, just, another nuisance, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they're coming. I mean, we were talking before the show. There's a bunch of different ones out there now. Looks like everybody's got their version of it, but no, I like it. So it's definitely it's not going to be as easy as a full on, snow blower like what Zach has. But with the amount of snow we typically get, it gets the job done, up to about 6 inches. If it's a little bit deeper, you could still go. You just kind of gotta hit it and then hit it again. You can't, it'll bog down if it's too much, because it's just got this spinny thing that just chucks it forward. So if there's snow in the way, it won't work. But, for the amount of snow we typically get, I mean, it works really well. It's fun to use. I'll say that, it's a blast to use. I wish it was a little bit wider. I think it's only like a foot wide, something like that. So it'd be nice. But if it was wider, it'd be even heavier. So those things are pretty heavy. The stuff down at the bottom there that actually does all the snow throwing, that's pretty heavy. So you're gonna be using your forearms to kind of hold it and walk it along. But I mean, I had the wife out there doing it last year, with a small snowfall, and she thought it was pretty fun.
So is it like self-propelled, or is it moves because of the blades on it?
I think, yeah. So it'll kind of pull itself along as you're going, because of the spinning, just the way that it spins, and it kind of scoops it up as you push it forward. But I mean, you're still pushing it, especially if you're getting into the deeper snow where you got to push it in there and, keep it going. But it kind of pulls itself along a little bit. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I had I had I had the blower and the I think the weed eater already, or I had a couple others already. So I already had the batteries, because I was like Nate, I was going back and forth like, corded, cordless. I already got some batteries, and then I don't have to mess with the cord and stuff. I'm not, limited by how long my extension cord is. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's maybe, I don't know, at the time,
about $100 more.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And you definitely want to get the one with the battery, because it's cheaper to get it with the battery than buying the battery separate later. So I have like 6 batteries now. So I have battery power, and running out of juice is not an issue for me. It is cool because it'll fit the larger battery that comes with the mowers. So that'll give you a little bit more life than the smaller ones that it came with. So I think last year when I was doing my driveway, I had to swap the battery out maybe twice to get it all done with the driveway. And I was going beyond just my house. I was kind of going further down a 2-car garage, but it's kind of a hill driveway. So it's a little bit longer. So it definitely, if your snow is a little bit thicker, not a good option. But, if you're somewhere that doesn't get a ton, and just a couple of times a year, it doesn't take up a lot of space. So that's why I really like it. And that was kind of why, I knew I didn't have much garage space. So it's a good option. But yeah, if you get too much snow, you're going to need something different, or you may end up shoveling some areas anyway.
Do you notice it's chipped up and stuff a lot on the blade?
I mean, there's not chips. You could tell it's slightly worn, but I'm really just doing a paved driveway or sidewalk. I'm not really doing gravel. It doesn't really hit stuff too much. I had some bricks at the entryway of my house last year at the rental. So some of those bricks would get knocked. It would knock some of the bricks. But I mean, it's a thick, strong plastic. So that was my thing. I saw it, I was like, oh man, plastic. I don't know how's that going to work. But I mean, it just kind of slides along, yeah. So if the amount of times I use it each year, I think it will last for years. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, the only thing I do not like about it is if the wind is blowing, you have
when the Toro Flex Force power system meets the Toro 60-volt max 12-inch power.
Oh my God, that was fast talking.
But like if
the
wind,
you guys can hear that.
You absolutely have to have the wind at your back.
Oh yeah.
If you try to throw the power shovel like into the wind, oh, I mean, it's bad. Like it literally because it doesn't just like throw it up and out. I mean, it throws it up in the air big time.
Yeah.
And you'll just wear it. I mean, it's
oh man, you get that fluffy snow that just kind of turns to dust, yeah, that'll hit you right in the face. Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely have to like play the wind at your back. When you're using one of those
what do you have, Nate? What was it?
I have the Snow Joe. So it's the same thing. Literally it's the exact same thing, but mine's corded.
Yeah.
If I had a choice, I'd pick battery over corded. But I have like a cord reel in my garage. And so I just pull the cord all the way out, and then hook it in and then go. And then when I'm done, it reels back up into the ceiling of my garage. But yeah, it's the same thing, but I mean, it throws it decent. I mean, that was one thing I was worried about, would maybe it would just like kick it from one side of the driveway to the other and you'd be like redoing it all, but no, like it throws it a good, like it throws it. I was telling these guys earlier, I said, one of the concerns I have is like when the wind's at my back and it's a good snow and I'm throwing it, and it'll actually, I think, throw it like into my neighbor's yard, and I kind of feel bad. I feel bad, because I can't really control it. I'm trying to like tip it down a little bit so it kicks more like that versus like straight up, out in the air. But that thing,
it'll fling it like last year. I was going out the driveway. It would fling it across the street, like into the neighbor across the street's yard. It chucks it so far. Yeah. I mean, it's got some power. It has two settings, like a high and a low. And like, why would I ever use the low setting? I mean, come on. But yeah, I mean, it throws that stuff and it chucks it. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. But to your point though, the one thing that really sucks is it's only 12 inches wide. And so, especially like when I use the snowcaster, it's 3 foot wide, so I'm making passes with that thing at 3 foot. And then you come back and you use the power shovel at like 12. It just feels like you're out there all day. Just like, you're just not getting, it's just like, come on, like it takes forever. So, but yeah. And to your point, if you have any like drift or anything like that, you almost have to like skim off the top and then lower it down a little bit and kind of like, kind of chip away at it. But they're all good tools. I mean, it seems like depending on what you're getting for snow, like they all have a good purpose and a good use. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, I still think like a shovel still does the job no matter what. Top 10 snow blowers.
Yeah, it was just
those are all batteries.
Buyer's guide. Yeah, and a lot of them were batteries. It isn't just separated by batteries. It was just from buyer's guide.
Interesting.
Yeah, does anyone have like a buddy or anything that does like snow plowing? I'll tell you, in my previous work, I remember one time I was getting off work and there's a girl I used to work with, and had worked together for 10 years or whatever, and I'd brushed off my truck and my truck was warming up, and I just went over to hers and brushed off her car and was helping her. She was walking out and kind of helped her do her car. And her husband has like a lawn care company and a snow removal company. Well, next morning I woke up, my driveway is completely cleared. He had a message, "Thanks for helping my wife." And I'm like, that was a good move right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I helped her. So I'll definitely brush someone's car off for a driveway plow, So, but I will say this, there's been times where, in one of my previous houses where it was that like, if we're getting over a foot, for me, it was worth it just to like pay the $25, call him up and say, "Hey, swing by and drop the plow in the driveway and just plow my driveway. And I'll pay you the $25." And, and he can do it. He can do it in 5 minutes. And I'll go out there with the shovel and clean it up. But that was way worth it versus, spending 2 hours trying to shovel. But how about, do you guys ever, obviously, if you've shoveled snow, you've experienced it, or you literally just finish and you hear that sound of the city plow coming around the corner, and you look up and you're just like, you just stand there at the end of your driveway like you dick, and here they come and they just plow across the end of your driveway, and you're just like, you just stare at them the whole time. You're like, like, you laugh, like, are you getting joy out of this or what? Because then you gotta go back and and clean the driveway. Yes, like it's like perfect timing. Like, I swear, it's like,
well, that's the stuff that gets packed down. So if you don't do it right away, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get it the next day, or the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. Yeah, that's
always like, I mean, I don't think I've ever been like in my first 5 minutes of shoveling when they come by. It's always like, or you just get done, you're walking back to hang up your shovel and you hear that damn snowplow, you're like, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, it's the most defeating sound in the world when you hear the city plows coming. It's like, oh no. And like, everyone knows exactly that feeling too. You just picture it. But
yeah, for sure. Well, all the snow talk makes me miss looking at a lawn.
Yeah, same. Longing for some lawn and of the week. Yes. Brian, you want to talk about lawn of the week?
No, you go ahead too.
I'll do it.
You guys always go back and forth. Like, who's going to do it? Like,
yeah.
So keep off the grass. We have this weekly contest, keep off the grass, KOTG lawn of the week, where folks that with Instagram profiles can post pictures, reels, anything that stays. Stories would disappear. But if you use that hashtag KOTG lawn of the week, we're all following it, checking it out throughout the week, looking at everybody's lawn, and we kind of go back and forth. This time of year, things kind of slow down a little bit, but man, springtime, summertime, it's a lot of fun seeing everybody's lawns, and it gets pretty competitive. But yeah, use that hashtag on your posts. Show us some sexy stripes. This time of year, get creative. It can be Christmas decorations or a giant turkey in your yard or whatever. Golf course lawn did some cool Christmas lights with his little frost on his grass. So just get creative, have fun with it, and if you win lawn of the week, Pro Pete is partnered with us. John, those guys super awesome. That they'll do a bag of Pro Pete fertilizer or their fossil product as well. Basically, any ratio you can find on the Home Depot website. Ship you out a 25-pound bag. If you're overseas, they'll give you some swag. Or if you already have your fertilizer stuff. Oh yeah, not overseas. No, none of that.
Not overseas.
Okay. Never mind. It's too expensive.
Swag. Yep.
Not inflation. If you're in the continental United States, and you already have your fertilizer picked out, then they would do the swag, right? Is that because I think anyway, yes. So
they just changed it to GIE.
Fair enough. So that's it.
There's no way you're paying $100.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the shipping, it's ridiculous. But anyway, so this week, I think we have another 2-time winner, right? I think I think somebody's
2-time
pretty hard. Yeah. So hard, in fact. He's a 2-time lawn of the week winner. This week we went with Lyle, yard hard, looking good, thick this time of year.
Oh,
good job,
amazing.
Man.
I like that.
It's a good looking pattern. Single, double, single, checkerboard.
Mm-hmm.
That looks cool.
Diamonds.
Yeah, I like that. It's fun too when you get the angle where the sun just kind of makes the lawn like glisten, like it kind of looks like it's glowing green. I like that. You can't really see the stripes don't pop, but man, you get that angle where it's just shining in your face, and you're just like, yes, I like that.
So that looks like a rotary mow.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I don't think he's real mower, is he?
That's his front yard.
He's got it. Yeah, in the back.
He's real mow in the front.
Sparking a huge debate right now in the Discord.
Yeah,
I think he is. I think he has real mower.
That's rotary.
Backyard. Yeah, he does the backyard.
Yeah.
The backyard, he's got his putting green or whatever.
Yeah, I real mow that right there though.
Yeah.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah, looks awesome for this time of year.
That's pretty fresh too. That's not very old.
No, he did.
Yeah, he redid it. Mm-hmm. Was it 365 or did he have something else? I can't remember.
He's in the chat. Let's see what he says.
It's not 365 SS, is it?
So it's rotary mode at 1 inch.
Nice.
That's pretty sweet. I like that.
Let's have a tape measure like you.
Yeah, that's great for getting in the cold, for sure.
Gets the job done, obviously, wins some awards, doesn't it, Olee?
Awards.
On the week.
Yeah, he done good on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who's all the 2-timers?
Don't put us on the spot like that. There's a few of them out there. Shoot.
I think there's just probably about a handful.
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't even know how many winners we have altogether. I don't know. I have to go back.
That's
and look.
a good picture.
Yeah. You can see the stripes there.
Perennial rye, he said.
Okay.
So
there you go. There's the.
That's an inch tall. That's a lot of tire track for an inch tall.
Well,
yeah. We'll see what he says.
Yeah, I mean it probably just
might need to thicken up.
Probably an easy lay right now with it being young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's good. I like it.
I
Good
saw
job,
I
good
saw the
job.
comment in the chat, and I was just getting ready to say something about True Green, but I'll hold off on that.
But congrats, Lyle. That looks
Yeah,
great.
man.
Welcome
It
to
was
the
awesome.
2-time club, and yeah, it's like Bill said, it's starting to die off for a lot of people, especially those that have 6 feet of snow on their lawn. So get out there and hashtag it up with some snow and some seasonal type pictures would be awesome.
I mean, you could almost make the argument that it's just as tough because folks aren't posting their pictures because their lawns don't look that good. And, it's harder to keep your lawn looking good this time of year. And that's why we say, get creative, man. Think of fun stuff because it's not all about stripes and, especially this time of year for us.
So hey, I wanted to bring this back up before we go, in case people don't know who, Mulchmate and what they are. Like I said, it's a lot of pros, some pro stuff, but it's going to be pretty cool to me. But they have like a cart like that goes on to a zero turn where you can push a cart for your zero turn. They got, snow blowers. That's, like if you're mulching.
So yeah, those are those guys that come with the truck and then they have those things that like chuck it out in your yard. That's pretty badass. I would love to have them come do that because that's a bitch and a half to spread all that topsoil. Just chuck it for me.
So yeah, they will be on not next week. We're taking next week off, and then they will be on the week after.
Yeah, so enjoy your families this week, everybody. Go eat some turkey and watch some football and mow the grass if you can. That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna.
I hope to.
It's awesome. Well, guys, another great show. This was fun. Chit-chatted a bit, kick back, relax. A lot of snow removal talk. I think I've learned about three things that I didn't know before. So hopefully somebody else in the chat did. And hopefully if anybody's listening on the podcast, you did as well. But we'd like to see you guys in the live cast on Tuesday nights. We're here 9-10 Eastern time on YouTube. Check us out.
Yeah, I might get one of those snowcasters for when you get those light snows. That would, if you get 36 inches, it's better than 12. Shoot.
Yeah, I'm hoping to put some reels together. I remember last year I had it, and every time it snowed, it was like -12 and windy, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm not making any content.
Yeah, get in, get out.
I'm bundled up. I'm getting the shit done. I'm getting back in the house. I wanted no part of setting up a camera. I'm like, no, not happening. So I have zero content of doing any snow removal.
I hear you.
But hopefully this year we'll get some. But
all right, boys.
All right, fellas. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Go Hawks on Black Friday.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.